guys, welcome back to my channel. Whether you're new or returning, I'm super excited that you decided to join me today. If you're new, my name is Mary and I'm the Daydream Stitcher, and this is my channel where I talk about cross stitch and all things related to cross stitch. So welcome. I'm going to try to do this all in one take if I can, because I'm trying to do the audio track separately. That doesn't matter. We'll see if this works. It's an experiment. So to start things off, I actually have a surprise to show. My daughter got a new baby doll. Come show. We're going to start things off with her so that we can then, it's a moving, squiggly baby doll. Can you show her? Oh, she's going to be all over the place. She doesn't like that. That's not going to work. That's not exactly how I envisioned this, but okay. This is, who is this?
Cookie!
It's Cookie.
And
Cookie is staring down at our other dogs. Okay, say hi!
She's a 9-week-old.
She's 9 weeks
Pug.
old. We've had her exactly for 1 week.
She's a pug.
Daddy surprised our daughter with this baby. It's all Daddy, because we have a lot of pets, and Mommy would have said, let's wait, but she's very sweet, as you can see. Kisses!
Oh.
Ouch!
So, I know you felt for it to be a baby doll, like a
I'm sure they really thought you were going to
show
up.
Yeah, you thought it was going to be like a baby doll. Like a doll.
So, yeah, we wanted to show her off because, you know, we have a lot of pets and animals and we really needed another one. But, yeah, she's a pug, as you can see. No nose. Well, she has a nose. But
she has a nose, but like, look at
looks
the
like from the side, she looks like she's been chopped off. I call her Voldemort, but she's not. She's got a great personality.
That would be a funny name for her.
She's a sweetie pie. Voldy. All right. Say bye. All the nice people. New stitching. Are you going to focus?
Do I click it? Just click it to focus it.
I don't know if it'll focus on her face. All right. I think she's...
Whatever.
All right. We tried. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Can you shut the door, please? Thank you. Okay. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I'm going to get right into the stitching, and then I'll do my other rambling about life and actually about Flosstube and things like that after this. This is Flosstube 40-something, and I'm just going to get right to what I've been doing this month. It's been 2 weeks since my last video. Today is April the... What is it? Is it the 15th? I don't even know what the date is. I think it's the 15th. Or it might be the 14th. Okay, so it's been exactly 2 weeks since my last video because I wasn't able to film last week because we went to Orlando to get the puppy. So for WIPGO this month, for the month of April, the two things that came up were my long dog sampler, Do Different, which I'll pop in a picture of here if I can. And then I did, last month it came up on my WIPGO board. I didn't realize it was on there twice. And so it came up again this time and I did another 15 hours on it. And this is where I am now. So 15, that's a total of 30 hours in the last 2 months that I've done on this. And you can see it's still a very, very long way to go. But I am getting this done. Let me pull that down so it looks a little bit better. I am getting this done one stitch at a time. This is done on 25 count Lugana 1/1. So they're pretty little stitches, at least for me, they're little stitches. And they are in DMC 310 black, the whole thing at this point. Might be fun to add some pops of color, but at this point I'm planning to just do it. I had started it for Black Sampler November, back in November of all months. My second WIPGO piece for this month is Green Courtyard in the Shire, which is a little bit cut off from the Q-snap. I'm sorry, I'm too lazy to take it out of the Q-snap for the video. So it does go, extends a little bit, not far on this side, and this is the end of it on this side. So actually, this is over halfway done. And in just the last couple days, I managed to get a lot of this filled in up here, put the chimney in. I got part of the other pole on the clothesline there. And working more on the window in the house, but primarily the grass is there. I've gotten done, and I've got kind of a good rhythm going on this, so I'm going to work on this probably throughout the weekend, Easter weekend. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, and I love the bright colors. It looks like a watercolor painting. This is from Cute Patterns by Maria Bravko on Etsy. She is a Ukrainian designer. I started this, I think in 2020. And I was watching a new to me Flosstuber. Actually, she's a fairly new Flosstuber, I think within the last month or two, named Stitches and Diamonds. I think her name is Marie as well, but I'm not positive. But it's her channel is Stitches and Diamonds. And in her latest video, she mentioned Maria, about like that she's still in the Ukraine because she's taking care of some family that was unable, I think like an elderly family member that was unable to leave. So she's still there. And I don't know if she's posting updates. I know she's on Instagram. So I'll have to go check that out. But she does wonderful designs. So if you are interested, go check her out, peruse her. There is a strike this week on Etsy, April 11th through the 18th. So you might want to wait until next week after the 18th. A lot of sellers are striking because Etsy just recently increased a bunch of their seller fees, and they've quickly gone up on the fees very quickly within the last year or two, and it's really cutting into their profit margin and their art. So you might want to wait on that, but do go check out her shop, her Etsy shop. I think she's a watercolor artist and that she converts her patterns from watercolor, because this really looks like a watercolor painting to me. The way that she does the colors with, it just to me looks like you would put like, I've only done a little bit of watercolor just to kind of like, for something different. But it looks to me like when you would pull a color darker or pull it out and make it more diluted, it has that kind of look to it. So I love it. I think it's bright and beautiful and lovely, and I love The Hobbit. And so it brings me joy when I pull this out. This is on a 16 count Aida parchment by Zweigert. Feels like a mouthful today. So that's currently on my Q-Snap. What else have I been working on? So I worked a little teeny bit on my Ladybird Fairy by Joan Elliott, which of course has got all kind of, let's see, it's got all kinds of threads. This is what I get for trying to do this thing in one take. I may have to cut. There's more planes going over again. This is my Ladybird Fairy. She does have some more stitches in her from the last time. Not a whole lot. But as Darcy Cameron recently said, a stitch is a stitch. And hey, if you did a stitch, it counts. I'm not quoting because he said it better than that, but that was I think the basic gist is a stitch is a stitch is a stitch. So be proud of the stitches that you are able to get in, and got it pulled out and put on my Q-Snap and put some more red stitches into it. So I'm showing it. This piece, and this is on a 32 count Lugana called Beachbound from a dyer, hand-dyed Happiness, who I don't think is still dyeing, but it's a really pretty kind of beachy colored theme, sky colored. This should be finished, and it's not. Surprise. This is my whole Holy Night Nativity. I wonder if I can, back up a little bit to show you the whole thing. And I'm going to do like Catherine Needleberry Stitcher. I was watching her the other day and she was holding up fabric and she's like trying to like maneuver around it. Cracked me up. Your videos, Catherine, are always so much fun because, I like the fabric is going to cover me up and I'm going to try to stretch over top of it, but I could actually move the fabric, right? I had to laugh because I do the same thing. But what I did work on this month in just the last couple days is the Wise Men. I put in, I think I finished, I think it's fair to say, I think I can call this purple robe finished here. And what else did I do? I started working on this guy's head covering. I did the crown for this one, and I pretty much finished this robe. I think I have a few more metallics to put in there. But it's getting there. There was a lot more stitching than I realized when I went to pull this out because I had fooled myself into thinking there's not that much left. And then I started working on it and I realized actually there's quite a lot left. So I will continue getting this done one stitch at a time. This is done on a 32 count Wexford linen from an old silk weaver eBay purchase. I got it off of eBay many years ago. And it's the perfect size because it's kind of an odd size. It's this long rectangle and it's perfect for the nativity. So that's where that is. I finished last month's, I updated, was it last month or maybe February? I don't even remember, but I had some updating to do with my WIPGOs that I hadn't finished for their month of this year. And so I pulled out my Historical Women, which is by Good Morning Maui. And since I last showed it, I finished Marie Antoinette. I finished Jane Austen. Well, I didn't quite finish Marie Antoinette. Me being me, there's a sleeve missing. There's some sleeves missing. So she has these disembodied hands there. But I will get back to that. So I finished her almost. I finished Jane Austen. I started Sacagawea. And I finished Susan B. Anthony down at the bottom. And then I started working on this red cap here for Harriet Tubman. So I did make some pretty good progress on that for another, I think I worked on it for another 8 hours, 8 to 10 hours, which that's pretty good for me. When I start timing myself, it's a bit of a downer because I really truly look back at the time and then I realize how little bit I got done, but it's still progress. And so once I get done with meeting my WIP goal, 15 hours for the piece, I stop counting the hours and I just enjoy the stitch. So this is more than 15 hours total from since I started with the WIPGO for this year. I mean, just for these 3.5 women, not the total thing. That's way more than 15 hours. This fabric is a 32 count Lugana. You see my favorite must be 32 count Lugana. This is from Under the Sea Fabrics. It's a colorway called Icicle. It's an opalescent. And it was chosen for this piece by my daughter when she was 7. She saw this in my stash and she knew that I had that pattern and she put those two together and asked me to stitch it for her room and to put it on this fabric. So that's why it's on this fabric. I think it's really pretty and maybe by the time she's in college, I'll have that ready to frame and put up in her room. So it's been 3 years, I guess now, since I started that. Almost 3 years. And then one more thing that I did work a little bit on, again, not a whole lot of progress, but I'm going to show it anyway because I did work on it for a couple of hours, is my Victorian Home by Artisy full coverage. This is 18 count Aida. And my, let me see if I could do this. Oh, I just realized I'm missing something. So I have a couple other things to show, but this is my Artisy piece. This is, like I said, 18 count. It's called Victorian Home. And I started working, I put more in down here on the front porch and I started working down here and I actually put some green in and a few pops of red. Those are flowers in the front yard. So I'm really excited to get those the green lawn in and the green trees around it and the red and yellow, I think, flowers. There might be some blue flowers. I think that will really perk up the house because the house is basically supposed to be kind of an old off-white in the shade, because there's a lot of trees around it. And it looks kind of like a dingy gray right now and just like this old kind of like beaten down old abandoned house, I think. But once those other colors come in, I believe that it will make the house appear more white and that it will look, it will make more sense once the other colors are in there. I've learned a lot over the years about trusting the design, if it's a designer that I trust in the first place, right? But sometimes when colors seem like the wrong choice, again, depending. I mean, there are designers that I could say I don't trust, but that's not my point. My point is, a lot of times if you know it's a good designer and the colors seem wrong, if you keep going and just trust the design, then it will make sense once the rest of the colors are put in there. So that's my ramble about that. Oh, I do have 3 more things that I worked on. I felt like I did. I put a few more stitches into my Soda Stitch Yoga Cats. I worked on my kitty cat. One day I was just like, I need to work on a cat. Do I have anything with a cat in it? Like, I really want to do a cat face. Because I was looking at some Heaven and Earth designs, and they have these beautiful, I forget the artist, I will see if I can find it again because I put some on my wish list, but she does these beautiful cat portraits and some close-ups of their face. Gorgeous pieces that I would love to have one day. And so anyway, I thought, well, I don't have a cat. I want to do a cat. And then I realized I do have my soda cat. So I worked on my soda cat. And I've delayed a little bit because I had started the white here. And I need to go intentionally and go under my crafting light and look and see which white did I use, because I have a bad habit where when I need white, whatever white it calls for, I will pull whatever white is handy. So sometimes it's B5200, sometimes it's 3865, sometimes it's Blanc. And then I can't remember when I go back. I had that problem in my historical women piece when I was stitching some white on the same woman, and I'm like, okay, which one is it? I had to go back and look under the daylight, the day lamp, and figure out which white is it so that it doesn't, isn't mismatched. So that's why I kind of stalled on that piece, because I need to finish doing that with the white. I put in a few more stitches on my Heaven and Earth. Oh, and by the way, that fabric, if anybody's keeping track, that's hand dyed by Rolanda. It was gifted to me by my sweet friend Amber at Rogue Mama Stitcher. I said stitches in a recent video, and I'm sorry, but she does stitches. So, but she's Rogue Mama Stitcher is her channel name. And she gave me this, and we're stitching this along a Soda Stitch Sal. She's doing Lunch of Love. Did I get it right that time? I rely way too much on not taking notes beforehand. I'm going to show my treasure hunt bookshelf. I think last time I showed this and I didn't say the name. This is called Treasure Hunt Bookshelf. It's by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I did work a teensy-weensy bit here. I put in some more of those reddish books kind of down here. It's hard for me to hold this and point at the same time. I worked on here. There's some scroll work here, which is really interesting to see these things kind of pop up because I'm not looking at the overall picture a lot of times. And so this is fun because there's all these things that start to appear that I didn't even realize I was working on. And then I worked a little bit more on this. I had to do some frogging here, which again, I try to avoid frogging at all costs. But in a piece like this, my books got to line up. So I had to pull that out and figure out what I'm doing with that. I still haven't figured out my miscount up here, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. Stay tuned. It'll be interesting to see how that works out. And then I also did a few stitches on my Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty, which was a sale in 2021 that a lot of people were doing. A lot of people are stitching this now in 2022. With the hashtag Still Fresh Fruit Sal from Chris Cross Stitch and others. And I need to catch up with Chris. He says he's behind, but boy, am I even more behind. I did manage to get most of February done, but as you can see, this part down here is still in February. So I need to finish that. And then I did start the hexagon, the frame for March. And so I will look forward to working on that. I absolutely love this piece. I love it. I love it. I love it. I don't know why I even put it down, because when I get to working on it, I just love working on it. And it's so nice because there's only the two colors and they work so well together. And I love it because, I'm not hunting for colors and rethreading all the time. It keeps it very simple. These colors that I am using, I had a question about that last time, and I'm sorry that I forgot to mention. This is DMC 799 for the lighter blue, and the darker blue is 3750. I love seeing all the different color combinations, all the different things that people use. All the different color combinations that people use, and they're just stunning. It's stunning in all the colors, all of them. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about Stitchy kindness that I received since my last video. I'm really delighted because it's just, they were things, like one of them in particular I didn't even know was coming. So it was a total surprise. I got this project bag from my sweet friend Beth at the Steadfast Stitcher. She has a great YouTube channel here. Please go check her out if you're not familiar with her. This showed up in my mail last week. Was it week before last, I think? Or last week? Sometime after my last video. And this showed up and she said that she was at Barefoot Needle Arts, which is a new brick and mortar shop. They're a designer. I think that they did some different designs. They did the Nightmare Before Coffee that I stitched last Halloween from the Halloween Just Cross Stitch and some other magazine charts. And they now have a shop. I believe it's in North Carolina. So she stopped there while she was on a vacation, and might be South Carolina, but I think it's North. And she saw this bag and she said she thought of me and she purchased it and sent it to me. And I'm so touched that she would be in a store and think of me. Like, how sweet. Thank you, Beth. This is the inside. It's got the music notes inside and the clefs. Once again, they don't include the viola clef. What's up with that? But they always forget to include viola because viola kind of has its own clef. I don't know if any other instruments use it. But Beth and I both are viola players, so we have that in common as well as the cross stitch. And I think she actually used to live in Florida. I just recently found that out, which is pretty cool. But it's got all these instruments on it, and so I really, really, really love it. And I'm going to use it right now. I'm going to put my project that I'm doing, the composers. I have I think it's Stony or Leisure Arts pattern that I need to get back out, and it's a musical staff with a song on it, and then it's got the different famous classical composers in like different beautiful colors. So I'm going to use that bag for that. And so thank you, Beth. That was so sweet. It just totally made my whole week, month, year. So thank you so much. That's so sweet. You didn't have to do that. It's really nice. And then I got from Mary Ann, just say, I got a package from a viewer in the mail and just a couple days ago. And she sent me this beautiful piece of fabric. Oh, I hope the video is capturing this. It's stunning. She had messaged me after my last video and she said, I was talking about the piece of fabric that I got that I thought was navy blue and it turned out to be purple, still really pretty. But I was talking about wanting something that looks like Picture This Plus Mystic, which is a navy blue, and that they've been out of stock of most of the shops that I've been looking at. And she messaged me and she said, you know what? I have a piece of Mystic. It's opalescent, and I would like to send it to you because I'm not going to use it. And she sent it to me. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I kind of want to put a mermaid on this, or maybe one of the fairies on the moon. I have to find the perfect piece. I think it is even more beautiful in person than it is on the camera, on the video. Yeah, I think you can see the opalescent on there. So thank you so, so much. She is on Instagram. I will put her Instagram name, if she's okay with it, up here. And she also surprised me by sending me a bunch of other things. She sent some little ornament pieces, an ornament pack of fabric in different colors. I'm really excited. I've been wanting to do some ornaments, more ornaments, and so I'm really excited to use these. They're in even weaves and linens. I think they're all linens, but they're in 28 and 32, which I love to stitch on. She sent me some different fancy flosses, and she sent me a package of patterns that she said I'm welcome to do with whatever I like. And so I plan to use these mostly as giveaways in the future, some older magazines, some Sue Hillis, and just some different goodies out of her stash. Thank you so, so much. That was so sweet. My daughter found actually a pattern in one of the magazines that she really loves, and she either wants to stitch or have me stitch, of a girl and a horse. So that was fun. We really enjoyed looking through those together and having fun and seeing those patterns from the 90s. You know, that takes me back. I have, and I keep wanting to mention it for whatever it's worth, I had, when I was a teenager, sometime in the mid-90s, I had written to Dimensions, and asked them if they had a list. This was pre-internet, or at least I guess I had internet. I had dial-up in 1995. But I wrote to them and I said, can I have a list of all your designs, because I love your kits and I would love to see what you offer. Like, what am I missing? Because there wasn't a lot of mail order. It was mostly going to my local craft store and finding what they had. And they sent me a catalog. There was a wholesale catalog that they sent to shops, and it was thick. I mean, it was good sized. It was probably, I don't know, maybe 200 pages, 300, 250, I don't know. It was a good size. And I remember it with such fondness and nostalgia. It's totally me geeking out over cross stitch and dimensions. And they had the sunset, the other ones they had off of it, the other lines they had, like Sunset, Jiffy. There were some other ones too, and I can't remember what they were called offhand. But I remember the pages were glossy black and everything was presented in these beautiful photographs. And I flipped through that magazine so many times, the way that we browse sites now, or we browse Instagram, Pinterest, and 123 Stitch and Etsy, and we'd love to look at different designs. And I wish I still had it, but I don't think I still have it. It was very dog-eared, it was very torn up, and I don't remember any period where I would have decluttered that, where I would have gotten rid of that, because I never really got to a period where I got rid of any of my cross-stitch things. I just kept collecting. So I'm sorry that that's gone, but it probably got mixed up with some other things, maybe when I was away at college. And I think that would be super fun to be able to show you guys. So I do think about that sometimes, and sometimes I'll see an older design and I'll be like, I remember from that catalog. So anyway, going back to what I mentioned, giveaways, talking about giveaways, I have to say, in my last video, which it was the one after. Okay, so in my 2 videos ago, in my 7-year celebration, Flosstube anniversary celebration, I did 4 giveaways to celebrate my anniversary, my Flosstube, or that doesn't sound right. What is this thing? The Flossanniversary? I did giveaways to celebrate that. And I announced 4 winners in my last video, which was 2 weeks ago. I gave my Instagram info and I gave my email address. I have not heard from any 4 of those people in these 2 weeks. So I am putting this out here now, that if you think you might have missed that, or you might have won and you want to see, please go back to my last video and find where I announced the giveaway winners and see if you were one of them. Because I would like to hear from you, and I need to hear from you before my next video. If I don't hear from you for my next video, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be back. Then I'm going to redraw. I'm going to go back to the original comments and redraw again. I know that some Flosstubers will come and they will comment on the winning comment in the previous video. I don't typically do that. It's not because I want to be mean or sneaky or anything like that. But I have found that there are some times, and I'm not saying this is the case here, but there have been times in the past when there are people that don't regularly watch, and they will see that there is a milestone. So if I'm celebrating a milestone of subscribers, or I'm celebrating a milestone of this many years on Flosstube, and they'll figure, well, there's probably a giveaway, so let me scroll through and figure out if there's a giveaway, and then I'll leave a comment. And my point of giveaways is I want to share goodies with my Stitchy friends, the people that are, joining me each time. That's the whole point of this. It's not to reward people who happen to find that one video where I did a giveaway. And I would love to be able to share these things with the people that came up. So if you're not responding to me, though, when I announce the winner, it makes me think you didn't watch the video. So please go back. I'm giving you another chance. Please go back and check it out. See if your name is mentioned. Send me a message on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, you can email me at the email below. It's dream82298@aol.com. Yes, I still use AOL. I'm old, and I don't know, that's it. And then next time, if I don't hear from any of you that particular prize, I will redraw. Somehow I feel mean saying that, but I think it's the right thing to do. I've given it a lot of thought, and that's that's what I've decided. That's what I've come up with. So, and it's kind of my thing to do, to decide. What else? I have not had any starts this year except for my Riolis Blue Jays was my New Year New Start on the 1st of January this year. I am committed to starting a new project on May 1st with my friend Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher, and Maria from Cup of Stitches and a number of other people. We're going to do the Matter in Hand Sal from Jeanette Douglas. So that's going to be a start. I haven't been wanting to start a whole lot of things. Like, I'll have one day where I have startitis and I'm like, I want to start all the things, especially seasonal things. And then I think, no, I really want to get things done. And because I don't normally feel that way, I just push on with my current whips because I do want to get my whips, some of my whips finished and get them out of my whip pile and into my done pile. So I keep plugging along on those, particularly because I mostly have large projects. However, I do have a goal that I want to go ahead and start another one of my Disney Dreams kits. I'm going to sub out, I want to use the pattern, I want to sub out the floss and the fabric, and then I want to pass on the kit in some manner when I'm done with the pattern. So would you guys let me know which one should I start next? I don't have them in front of me. I pulled out one over that's sitting, of course, over there, and I'm not going to get up and get it. So I'll show you a couple. I have Fantasia, I have Little Mermaid, I have Finding Neverland from Peter Pan. I've started Beauty and the Beast and I've started Snow White and gotten quite a lot of progress on both of them, but I would need to restart those, and I'm not sure that I want to do that. I have Sleeping Beauty, I have, who else do I have? I have Pinocchio, which my friend Amber, Rogue Mama Stitcher, is stitching also, and she's making incredible progress on it and doing a marvelous job, and just, yeah, she's so speedy and such a beautiful stitcher. So tell me which one should I start? Because I can't make up my mind. I was looking through them, but I really want to get them done and then pass them on because I'm holding on to them, and I was like going to collect them, and I've just kind of decided that that's not where I am anymore with collecting those. I'm going to continue to collect other kits, particularly Dimensions, but these ones I would like to pass on. I don't want to sit on them like the proverbial dragon on my hoard and not share them with other people that would appreciate the patterns. Again, I can't say it enough. Word of advice, if you're stitching these kits or you get your hand on a kit, do yourself a favor, sub out the fabric, sub out the floss, use DMC, use your favorite fabric. The pattern's great. Nothing wrong with the pattern, but the kit materials, it's just not worth it. It's a gamble. They may not be what you hope they are, especially if you're paying a high price for these things. And then also, so that's a plan. And then also, I would love to go ahead and stitch up more of the seasonal cottages. I keep meaning to get to those. And again, I keep talking myself out of a new start. I have a stitch retreat coming up. I forget the dates, but I think it's in 2 weeks. I better check that so I show up on the right day. I'm only going for Saturday. The stitch retreat is here in Florida, and it's my first, and I'm super excited because I'm going to get to meet a couple of my online stitchy friends, including Stephanie at Sew Glover Creations and Debbie at Owl and Gator Stitches, and a couple of other people that I know on Instagram and Facebook that I don't think have Flosstubes, but nonetheless, I'm really super excited to meet them and to talk stitching in person. I guess a bunch of people are signing up for Stitch North in Canada next year. I'm so jealous because it seems like so many of the cool kids are going. A lot of people that I know online are going, and I would hope to go, but I probably won't be able to sign up until it's closed. Like, I have to kind of wait and see. A year from now, it's really hard for me to know what my finances are going to be, what my life's going to be from day to day. So, but eventually I will get there. I will get there because going to Canada is one of my hugest things, like on top of my wish list to go. So I will eventually make it up there and meet some of my northern stitchy friends. And then the last thing coming up, stitchy related, well, there's two things, 2 collabs that I have the opportunity to partake in, and I'm super excited. I'm super nervous, but I have 2. So one Flosstuber invited me to do a collab. I'm not going to say more about it because I don't know if she said anything about it yet. I have to go check. But she invited me to be part of her social media, and I'm so flattered and so excited. And so we're trying to plan that and figure out how that's going to look. And then I also have a collaboration coming up with my friend Ashley at Wayward Stitcher that we are super excited about, but we are not saying any more about it yet because we're trying to finalize things. But I think you guys will really enjoy that. So that's in the works. And I think that's it. And I think I will let you go because I have rambled for long enough. I hope you guys have a great Easter weekend, and I will see you back here in a couple of weeks. Happy stitching!